What's up, guys? Welcome back to Gladiators, and today we're reviewing the headextreme Pro Auxetic 2.0. I have reviewed the MP version of this racket some time ago. It's standing right behind me, and I have to say it really wasn't a racket for me. Not to say that it was a bad racket, but it just really wasn't for me. This, on the other hand, has really good potential to fit me way better, because it's a little bit heavier, which is good in my case. It's also a 98-inch head, which means that crazy power that comes from the nature of the racket is a little bit more contained and kind of more controlled. Plus, there's going to be more stability. So yes, I'm actually very excited to test this thing out. We still need to string it, I guess, to be able to play with it. But yeah, apart from that, oh yeah, and also this paint job, guys, I just can't get over it. It's so beautiful. But yeah, without further ado, check out the specs. So yeah, although expecting to love the racket a lot more than its MP sibling, I came to the conclusion that I don't see the point of this racket whatsoever, simply because I was struggling to find out who this racket is supposed to be for. But before you start killing me in the comments for saying negative things about a racket, hear me out. So, it's a 98-inch head, so I guess control-oriented, sure. 16 by 19 string pattern, that's more of a power and spin string pattern, but you're right, there's the Wilson Blade 98, and it has the same specs, and I love it, but this one has a noticeably thicker beam that ranges from 21mm to 23, and that takes away from the control nature of the frame. And then there's the balance, which I don't know what it is, but I just seem to struggle every time I had to push my hand through the ball, and that was taking away from the confidence on every shot. And apart from that, there's the Auxetic, the implementation of which I really like in most of Head's racket, but in this case, I'm really not a fan. The racket just felt way too dampened and soft. It does get better closer to the end of the review, so stay tuned. Let's start with the shot-by-shot analysis. So, backhands. Although felt a bit muted and not solid enough for my taste, the backhand was the shot that I liked the most with the headextreme Pro. I could direct my cross courts decently well, could spin the ball, and could play flat when I had to. Switching down the line was turning out to be a bit more complicated, but I wouldn't say it felt bad. Totally doable. So I'll give it a pass on the backhands. Forehands, however, were a problem. The racket kept confusing me because it feels like it's a powerful and spinny racket that should have a pretty big sweet spot, and yet the sweet spot of the racket is very small. Not very small, but smaller than you'd expect. Anytime I would hit my forehand, my ball would either go shorter than I wanted to or into the net, which was super annoying and rather damaging to my confidence once again. Lads, although so far I'm not really liking the racket, if you did already decide that you want to purchase it for yourself, I have to give you the best link to do so, and it's going to be linked down in the description below, together with our exclusive discount code to save you some cash, like always. Another thing that was rather annoying were the serves, where I was making an unusual amount of double faults. The flat serves didn't seem to be going fast or that securely. I kept missing the ball to the net. The slice first serves were not getting the needed amount of slice to be anywhere damaging for my opponent, and the kicks were just to laugh at. So yeah, disappointed me on the serves as well. I got so pissed at some point that I even grabbed my own racket to make sure that it's not a me problem, and it wasn't a me problem because the next 2 points I played felt really well. The one shot that I felt was just right were the volleys. Here, the stability of the racket and the Auxetic 2.0 were doing me really well, as the shots felt solid, rather well directed, and I could really feel the ball pretty good. And here's where I realized that the thing that really pissed me off about this racket was the naming, and more specifically the Pro in the name of this racket, because as a matter of fact I understand why it exists and I understand the targeted audience, but it's just not for pro players by any means. This is just a really comfortable, soft to the feel and stable racket that is good for the people who aren't looking for crazy spin, crazy power, or crazy control or feel, but those who just want a comfortable racket that gets the job done but doesn't necessarily shine or exceed in any aspect, and that is definitely not a description of a pro player needs. I can see the older guys playing doubles with their friends on a Sunday evening with this racket, but I definitely don't see a futures player taking a 4-hour-long match on clay in the heating sun of Antalya on an ITF with this. And as much as I love the paint job of the new extremes, this just isn't a racket for me, and I will leave it to you to decide whether it's for you. Check out the grades.
I just need time.